We are live. Straight politicking. Alex Alonso. I'm here with my co-host, Munchie B, the mayor. And man, oh man, Munchie B, you had a hell of a week. We're going to talk a little bit about that later, but you quit No Jumper. Is that real? Is that true? You quit No Jumper?
Oh, yep, I go ahead. Yeah, no, I when they called it quits on that. Yeah, it's real, I don't run no plays.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to talk a little bit about that later, but I wanted to tap back in with that Stockton ceasefire story from last week where this guy from Texas is claiming to have brokered a ceasefire amongst gangs in Stockton, but the Stockton mayor said, we never heard of this dude. We don't know who he is, you know?
But he programming from a city outside of Stockton, like remotely out of, you know what I'm saying?
Well, he did claim, he claimed he came to Stockton, but no one's been able to verify that. I got a clip here of this interventionist guy from Texas that claims to have brokered the ceasefire in Stockton. They tracked his ass down, Munchie. Somebody tracked him down over the phone. He seemed a little reluctant to want to do the interview about this truce he claims he brokered. But let's play clip 1, please.
Tonight, an exclusive interview with the founder of a Texas-based nonprofit after city leaders questioned his claims of a gang ceasefire in Stockton.
ABC 10's Nazi Javid is live in the studio with the exclusive. And Nazi, I know you've been looking for answers about those claims and accusations. This is all a scam.
Yeah, after days of silence and growing criticism, the founder of the Youth, Peace and Justice Foundation agreed to speak with me. I was surprised, actually, and I asked him directly about the ceasefire claims, about gang contact, money, why city leaders said they were never contacted, and why he decided to speak now.
Daniel Chapin is the founder of the Youth, Peace and Justice Foundation, originally the Uvalde Foundation for Kids.
It's time for me to step up and address some of these questions and put a face and a name and a voice.
Stockton city leaders, including the mayor, police, and the San Joaquin County sheriff, say they had no contact with the organization and no way to verify a ceasefire.
It is contradictory to what I'm saying. We recognize that there's been a gap, and that goes back to that strategy.
Chapin says that gap was intentional, claiming his group limited contact with officials by email only to protect people he claims were involved in a temporary truce. Law enforcement says there's no way to verify that any agreement ever took place.
I think there's been a lot of questions in the community about whether this ceasefire actually happened. So did it happen?
Absolutely did happen. It was tactical and strategic.
He claims known gang affiliates contacted him.
I'm talking about individuals that were involved in these gangs themselves.
So you're saying gang members contacted you?
I'm saying that they contacted us and they said, you know what, it's going to break out up there.
So he says his nonprofit stepped in, but national experts have criticized what they call parachuting into a city after a tragedy.
It's what parachutes are made for. When Uvalde happened in 2022, a community was ripped apart. When Stockton happened in 2025, a community was ripped apart. And what do we hear? We need help. We need all the resources.
The most serious accusation has been that this is a money grab.
Shouldn't you have a relationship with the city so that you have more buy-in and people are not calling it a scam?
That's why I think it's ironic that in some cases people look at us and go, well, are you a scam? And yet what we're actually doing is the exact call for accountability. We will never go into a community and say, we're going to do all of these things. Write us a check, or we want a piece of what the mayor say, a piece of the pie. No, we never have done that. Never will do that.
As for what he does want,
the ultimatum is, from this point forward, the foundation is going to hold the city of Stockton and any city across this nation accountable for every dollar that it claims is going to direct violence intervention.
But the mayor said he hasn't reached out.
Here's the commitment that I'm going to make to you right here and now. As part of our getting centered into Stockton, I'm going to personally pick up the phone and call the mayor's office. If the mayor will give me a voice, I'll sit down with him.
And I also asked him about the $5,000 reward offered to find the suspects in the mass shooting. He says he stands by that money offer, but says it will not be delivered until someone is in custody. Meanwhile, Chapin says he plans to maintain a presence in Stockton by opening a hub for local resources. Back to you, Chris, Laura.
Yeah, Nazi, excellent reporting there. Thank you for that update.
Okay, so I want to tap in with our gang intervention expert, Skipp Townsend. But before we call Skip, Munchie, I'm not really now that I heard this guy talk and I heard him answer some questions, and the questions that this journalist asked weren't even that tough. Mine would have been a whole lot tougher, but I'm not feeling confident in what he had to say.
She didn't even have to come hard.
Yeah, she didn't
have to come hard. Like, he tried to run a play on the wrong situation. This too high profile. I'm pretty sure he did this before, quote unquote, parachuting into communities and receiving funds and grants for stuff that's going on. But he should have probably skipped over Stockton based on this is too high profile. Like this. Oh yeah, I hate to say it, bro, and be like a pessimist or whatever, but he a fraud.
Yeah.
No, he ain't the real deal.
Well, I'm gonna reserve that judgment until I get more information. Yeah. But I could tell you, I'm not feeling confident about what I heard in that interview. He doesn't seem like he's authentic and sincere about what's going on in the streets of Stockton or any other city. He sounds like an opportunist, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. Let
me tell you something. All right, if this term parachuting, right? When I think of parachuting, I'm thinking about if LAPD, 77 Division, or Inglewood Police got some stuff going on in a city, the crime is off the hinges, and they really is out of their control. They not solving cases. Then they call the boys downtown, Metro, for the help, right?
Yeah.
And they call in the big dogs from downtown, and I would consider that parachuting. And then they, you know what I'm saying, they crack down. Why would somebody from Stockton reach out to a nonprofit organization in Texas? You know what I'm saying? Do you specialize in gangs? Do you know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't they be hitting towards these people in the Bay Area more so, or Southern or Southern California that deal with these gang problems? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think he got attracted by the $8 million grant that he saw that's on the table for Stockton, and felt like he deserves or wants a piece of that pie because he's got a nonprofit, and a lot of nonprofits are always looking for the next grant, you know?
Hey, look, if they got a gang problem and they trying to put together a truce in Stockton, and I think they will reach out to Southern California CIW people, gang prevention intervention workers, and get their assistance before some random person in Texas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got big like chapters like Second Call, Chapter 2, Baby with Bear, like that really deal with these gangs.
Definitely. I don't think
yeah, that's cap.
Yeah, I don't know. But let's tap in with Skip.
Yep.
And get his opinion on an outsider coming into Stockton to do some of the work.
Hello?
Skipp Townsend.
Yes, sir.
Alex Alonso and Munchie B. We straight politicking, and we were just talking about this Stockton gang ceasefire that this guy in Texas supposedly brokered, and I figured who else better to talk to about this topic than Skipp Townsend. And one of our issues is it possible to be from another city and have that much clout and weight across the country?
Hold on, from Texas or in Texas?
No, he's in Texas.
Oh, okay.
He's not from Texas. He claims he's from Long Beach. But what did you think about that interview that the dude gave? We just finished listening to it. What did you think about that, Skip?
You know what? I'm sorry, man. I didn't get the interview, but let me ask this, though. Did he do it from Texas? Did he go to Stockton? Did he include the right people? I mean, I just don't know how that works. I do know that I just left Detroit, and when I was in Detroit, they were already doing things. So anything that I did, well, I'd have to sit down and listen and watch, but I couldn't be a participant because I don't know the boundaries. I don't know the difference between 7 Mile and 8 Mile. I don't know the difference between the east side and north side. So there's a lot that goes on with with having peace agreements. So I'd have to have more information on this guy.
So you never heard of, like, for example, somebody being from Atlanta, Georgia, and getting funding and claiming they doing the work in California, but not from California.
Yeah, that does happen, man. I hate to tell y'all, but most of these politicians out here in LA, they from Cleveland, they from other places, man. There's a lot of people who come out here just for that, just to claim to have helped. I know I talked to Cynthia Nunn this weekend where she told me that somebody came to her and said, "Hey, we want to give away food." And she said, "Where?" And they said, "In Compton. We know y'all need food out here." And Cynthia was like, "Man, we give out food all the time. The council member give out food. Both sides of Rosecrans give out food. Matter of fact, all three sides, the Santanas and the both east and west of the Pyrus do." So she's like, "Where'd you hear that from?" But a lot of people want to make their name known, so they go to different areas and want to do stuff.
None.
So I can't say this dude. I can't say him because I don't know him.
No. But I'm saying I could want to give to O Block in Chicago because I know it's probably poverty stricken or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to give back. But I'm saying it was a mass shooting in Stockton. You know what I mean? And this man saying he called a peace treaty, a 21-day peace treaty between these two gangs, and he's not even from the city, and he's operating from Texas. Do you think that's likely?
Not at all, man. Munchie, you know how hard it was for me to get with you. Right. Man, when Nipsey got killed, man, the first thing I'm thinking is, man, whatever I'm doing, Munchie B gonna mess it up. So, no, it's impossible to not have these relationships. Right. It's impossible to not be able to go on the street. After talking to certain people, man, I have to go to their hood and I have to talk to other people, and they say, "Skip, it ain't me." Go over there and talk. Matter of fact, to be honest with y'all, I was trying to bring the bounty hunters. I was in Nickerson Garden, man, and they started calling each other like, "Hey, run, skip in circles." And they told me, "No, the lot boys." Then they said, "Nah, boys on 108th." Then they said, "Man, you talking about the Bellhavens." And one of the homies called me, and the homie's son called me and said, "Hey, Skip, they laughing at you. Just go on and leave. They ain't gonna do it." You know what I mean? They kept sending me in circles. And then the homie son called me and said, "Man, I love you, Skip, man, but they laughing. They don't want to talk to them."
All right, I want to throw this into it too. There was the mayor from Stockton said there's an $8 million grant for gang intervention for the next 3 years, and she feels that this guy in Texas is trying to get a piece of that. That's why he's inserting himself into this Stockton gang conflict. What do you think of that part of it?
Yes, indeed. Man, I've been a part of different teams that have gone to different cities, and what they've done is they would get something like that $8 million. I'm not going to say their name, but there's an organization out here who will go out there and get that $8 million and train them and suck up about $4 million of it, and then hire people from that area and keep training them. And see, that's what I be saying about LA, because that was one of the things that happened in LA as well. That people who have never been to McDonald's, when the Crips come in, you know what I mean, and got to figure out, do I get my food or do I leave or do I fight? People, Malcolm Klein, I'm sure you know who that is. Alex was the gang expert before 2022, and the only reason he lost it then is because he died.
Yeah.
So there are people, and he never been shot, never shot back, never been to a reception center. But
he's been
so many people.
He's been in the trenches doing his research for like 40 years. You know what I mean?
Okay, say that one more time, though. What was he doing in the trenches?
He was doing his research.
Okay, has he ever been to a reception center?
You mean for prison?
Yes.
That I don't know.
What you mean, to visit? To as an inmate or to visit to do the work?
As an inmate, he's never been an inmate.
I've never walked a California prison my damn self.
Okay, but you walked on Venice Boulevard, you walked on Adams, you walked on West Boulevard in the 60s, you walked in the Broadway.
That is true.
I know this. I do know this for a fact. I was in the car with you on Crenshaw and the dudes was coming. So I know that you know what we're talking about, as opposed to someone who is coming into somebody's city, and I'm gonna take it back to Stockton, coming into their city, and I've studied and I've researched so I can help you with this issue. That's just not the case. There are people in Stockton right now. Man, I'm thinking of my brother, 21 Love Salute, Hassan. Hassan is out of Richmond, but he's working in Stockton. There's a young lady, Tony, who was part of my CVI LA class. They're certified, trained by shit, we got our certificates from the White House, even though it's from the University of Chicago. So there are people in Stockton who are already doing the work. The homie Nate, what they call him, Duck, Nate Williams out of Ludus Park. He's been up north for a while. So there's several people who are already out there who are connected between Nate and between the homie Hassan. Shit, man, they both did at least, it's about 50, 60 years of prison time between two people.
Okay, so I would like to know if Hassan and Nate had any kind of conversation or been in contact with this dude that's in Texas, because doing his work, at some point, wouldn't you have to have some type of contact with the mayor? Because the mayor said she never heard of this dude. Nobody in Stockton ever heard of this dude, or you know what I'm saying?
No, so I wouldn't say have to have contact with the mayor, because, you know, everything, and I want to thank you, Munchie, everything that we did with you and Little AD to stop the back and forth between, you know, Manchester and Crenshaw and Slauson and Crenshaw. The mayor, it doesn't even recognize it. The mayor of Inglewood doesn't recognize why he has less homicides, why he has less back and forth since the shooting on La Brea, you know, when it was all going down. So because of what we were doing, there was no money given. There was no $8 million offered.
But me,
you know,
but me and Lil AD is lower on the scale versus what this man claiming to be.
I'm high on the scale, though.
No. I'm talking about that man.
I'm telling you, I'm high on the scale. I'm nationwide high on the scale.
Right.
And the mayor of Inglewood has never. Matter of fact, he told me that we don't have gang problems. And then, you know, he tell me the same time when I'm in the back with Bisco and them. Well, I'm at the house in the avenues, or I'm at Darby Park. Right. And he said, I'm at Rogers Park. And he said, we don't have issues. I'm like, man, I'm out here talking to the issues every day.
Yeah. And
I'm out here.
So the city I'm from, Inglewood, don't believe in GRYD, and everybody say I'm a part of the GRYD. Although I would like to be, I would love to, you know, I got bills to pay, and then, you know, I'll do the work. But that Inglewood don't believe in GRYD, right?
No, not at all. There's no GRYD in Inglewood, and the mayor, matter of fact, he disrupted his gang task force, and then he did not want to. He put $160,000. This is when the Waltons was still on the street, when Donnie and Keith Walton was on the street. He put out $160,000 for a gang injunction. So I'm thinking, okay, let me get everything I got at your house about your house, because they're gonna hit your house, and they didn't. They hit about well, they did hit Donnie with a gang injunction, but then they hit other people. They hit you too?
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, but I only knew about the older people who was, you know, hanging out with Mousy and them, you know, over on Manchester. I knew that they was hitting them with it. I'm like, damn, they not even the issue.
Right.
You know, so, but then that's 160,000 wasted. That 160,000, I drew it out for like maybe a year and gave everybody like 20,000 a year to just show up at school time. Right. Show up when Inglewood letting out, show up when Morningside letting out, you know, Monroe, wherever we got to be, you know, just show up for that. And that's what I was telling him, man. We could take 160,000 and put it in the hands of 5 or 6 people, and even do follow-ups, even buy pizza. Some kids need shoes, but they wanted to invest in law enforcement. So I don't know who this guy is, but if it was $8 million, maybe I should go get me an apartment out in Stockton real quick. And
hey, do you think that's a good grant? Is that a good grant? $8 million for 3 years? And how would you? Yeah. How many people can you employ, and what type of staff can you develop with $8 million 3 years, which is basically $2.5 million per year?
Yeah, so that's a good amount to have. I would say a staff of probably about 7 to 8 intervention workers, but also have a staff of about 4 case managers, because they're so important that somebody does a follow-up. Like, you know, like matter of fact, the young fella who got shot and killed last night over on La Brea. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but there was a follow-up. There were people who used to go to the school when he was getting in trouble with school. There were people who followed up, and you know, he was at the park and was fighting, and they said, man, you got beat up for nothing. You're still not a part of this. You know, so not just grabbing somebody, but actually following up with them, calling the mama saying, you know, the boy at the park ready to fight again. And he's not, even if he wins the fight, he's not going to be a part of this. So, you know, those are the type of things, because there's a lot of prevention before we have to do intervention. And then there's a lot of follow-up, man. Did the dude have shoes, man? Is the mama working? Oh, the mama working 2 jobs. That's why he's out here. So it's so much to do to follow up just on one child and then get your heart broken to find out, last night he lost his life. So with the $2.5 million, man, it's, administrative is key as well, but it has to be 8 different people who can go into different areas in Stockton. And it has to be 4 case managers, 2 for the east side, the west side, or the south and north side, however they divide it in Stockton. It has to be like that. So
that comes out to about $220,000 a month. So that would be able to cover all the case managers that you envision that would be needed in the city of Stockton. $220 a month.
You're making my boy do math, bro.
Because that's what I was saying too. But I'm doing math. I'm gonna do that math based on what I'm doing right now in LA, and I got 100 employees, and our payroll is about 200 and something thousand a month. So no, I wouldn't have even 50 employees. I would have somewhere in the area about 35 to 40. So yeah, that should make the payroll. It should really do it.
Okay, the last thing I want to ask you is that the mayor of Stockton, she came out and said, I don't know who this guy is, never heard of him. I think this guy's a liar, in so many words. Is it common that a mayor should know if someone is brokering a gang truce, a ceasefire, 21-day ceasefire in the city, or sometimes the city government completely out the loop?
I think the city government should be out the loop. As a matter of fact, in Los Angeles, the city government was out of the loop until Connie Rice and Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa decided to put the intervention in the mayor's office and created GRYD. Prior to that, everything that was happening was not going to the city. And they felt like they needed to know, because what they needed to do is they needed to take credit. So in other words, Munchie, I need you to go do the work in Inglewood. However, let me know everything you're doing so I can write the report. Now the report says Skipp Townsend did this and that. You guys get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And not give any credit to Munchie, maybe buy him a burger or something.
Right.
That's what's happened. That's called poverty pimping. And that's what's happened here in LA. But it should be, the things that go on, the talks that go on, there shouldn't be law enforcement included. And Alex, you know this as well about, the east side, the groups that, that Bobo called to the table on the east side, that couldn't be attended by law enforcement. It just couldn't. It wouldn't have the same effect. The other meetings with Inglewood, with the Queen Streets and the others, those things, man, they got to be under the radar. And then when they come out, now people who weren't there say, yeah, I did that. And that's fine. Let them take credit for it.
Okay, well, how would you feel? How would you feel if someone like Curran Price or Herb Wesson, who's recently retired, if one of them brothers wanted to pull up to the center and sit in, because these are people that I believe we trust. They're not law enforcement, but they're still part of the government. How do you feel about council members wanting to pull up?
I think that would be good just for show. As a matter of fact, I believe you remember when I had Reverend James Lawson pull up. We took a picture. Red Rum was still alive. Do you remember that? Were you there? For the Inglewood, it was QSNH.
Yeah.
And Inglewood 13. So these are for moments. These are for let's capture this moment. However, to sit and talk and to be real, no, I wouldn't have them in a real conversation. Sometimes here lately when I've had these meetings, Inglewood 13 was non-cooperative. They said, hey, look, we want to. Yeah, Munchie was there for that. Yeah, Munchie was there at that one where they said, we can't. We can't. Other people, y'all can say what you want to say. We can't. We got to take it back. So certain things like that, I don't want the council member there because Munchie, I don't know if he know, but I'm sitting there looking at TN and Mutt, and they want to jump over the table when they heard that. Because the little ghost from the other side was saying, man, it's over. My big homie's right here. And check me if I'm wrong. And my little homie's right here. And it's over. We're not doing this no more. So they felt like, okay, we're not doing it either. So for another group to say, well, shit, we can't say that. I wouldn't want the council member there. As a matter of fact, Vicky Lindsay, Alex, I had her there the first meeting between Inglewood and Inglewood. Back when Queen Kong lost his life, lost his battle with life. I had Vicky Lindsay there, and everybody checked me and said, Skip, this is not for civilians. Don't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, shit, okay. But look, it went well. They said, oh, man, it went well, but it could have went bad. And you can't protect her if it go bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with all that being said, no, the mayor should not know. The mayor should get the word afterwards. But whoever this dude is, I would try to find out his who validates him.
Well,
who did he talk to?
His name is Daniel Chapin, Chapin, and he's got an organization called Youth Peace and Justice Foundation out in Texas, and nobody knows who he is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Hey, what's crazy is that I was just looking in my phone to call you, and I saw an old group text between you, me, and Red Rum. Wow. When I was pulling up your number. That you mentioned Red Rum. Wow. Yeah. All right, Skip. Appreciate you for tapping in with Straight Politicking. We will definitely keep in touch and find out if this guy's really connected to Stockton.
All right. And before I get off, though, I get off the line, Munchie B.
What's happening, bro?
Man, I don't know. I don't want to be controversial on this right here, but
man, go ahead, bro.
But controversial. Hey, look, man, you've been around some people that I just would have never been around. That's all I'm saying. You've been around some people I never would have been around, and I'm glad that they are revealing who they are to you. I'm glad that it's a clear picture now that there's certain people who don't have your best interests.
Right.
Hey, Skip. That's why you don't see me on any of these platforms, bro.
Yeah, me either. You don't see me on platforms, but there was a person though that when I talked about Fo Extra called me on a Saturday after going to jail on a Wednesday, told me he had no fights, no nothing, and I put it out there, and there was somebody who you would be with, Munchie, who was saying like, oh man, if this Skipp Townsend dude really did what he said, the Crips could have did that without him or whatever, but he lying on Fo Extra and now this is going on and so I was just like, man, you don't even know me, homie. But I just said to myself right there, I'm cool. I'm gonna let that go, even though I function with the other people from around there. Right. I'm just gonna let that go and not say nothing. But I used to just think to myself, man, I know that somebody like that is looking for something, looking. And I like what you said, like, man, there was plenty of incidents where I could have had content on this dude.
Right.
There's plenty of incidents that went on and I didn't do it. So, man, I tip my hat to you, man. But just, I don't ever want to influence somebody to not like somebody because I don't like them. So I never said nothing to you. But yeah, I'm glad that that's a couple of people to let you know how they really feel about you.
Yeah, and it showed. And all, like I said, I was ignoring it. You know what I'm saying, for certain reasons, and like just for the work environment to be cool and like copacetic. You know what I'm saying, but no, that's why I took a step back as you you saw or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
No, but I'm gonna holler at you, Skip, man. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem. All right, y'all.
Thanks.
All right, peace.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Skipp
see,
Townsend.
y'all was talking about the same thing but different.
I think he was talking about Flacco?
No.
Okay, my bad.
Young Ant.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, we'll touch on it.
Okay. All right, man. So one thing that Skip said that kind of stood out is that there are outsiders that be trying to come into cities for the sole purpose of getting some of the money, getting some of the grant money. Even Skip said, hey, maybe I need to go up to Stockton and get involved and see.
No, but Skip said maybe I need to go to Stockton and get an apartment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he will be there to do the work.
Most definitely.
So that's the difference. And he said, he went to Detroit and he sat in. But it ain't too much talking he could do because he's not from there. He can't tell you about 7 Mile and 8 Mile and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So he sat in. So, yeah.
All right, so we're going to preliminary call Mr. Chapin Cap for now until he can produce some receipts. And one thing that the interviewer didn't ask, or at least they didn't play it in that news clip, was who did you talk to in Stockton? Which gangs have the ceasefire? Name the gangs. Name the communities. They didn't get specific. And that the lack of specificity lets me know that it's not real.
Even her not asking that, he should have rebutted with them answers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I tapped in with some Mr. So-and-so from the so-and-so community and the dudes from the trades and the EBK dudes, and like, you know what I'm saying?
He should have been offering that information.
Right. So, you know.
All right, man. Hey, I wanted to hey, real quick though, before the next topic, Skip did bring up seeing you on that no jumper. We're gonna talk a little bit about that in a minute, but and just let you know, I wanted to let you know everybody's watching, bro. Everybody's watching. So, but before we talk, we're gonna talk about that at the end of the episode. But I saw this 4 Extra interview that Trap Lord Ross gave the other day, and I gotta say, this is the most likable 4 Extra that I've ever seen, and I believe I'm seeing and witnessing the real 4 Extra. Maybe it's the 4 Extra after dealing with the tragedy, after dealing with losing his hand. But I got to believe that that's a part of who he was before. And the rah-rah 4 Extra and the squabbles and knocking people out 4 Extra, I want to hope and believe that that's the character. And what we saw with Trap Lord Ross was the real person, the real human behind all the on Vernon and all that other extra stuff. He's always off the back. He was talking completely different, Munchie. Did you get a chance to tap? I believe you did. Did you talk about this on your channel?
I only checked out one clip. Yeah, and I reacted to that one clip. And then I watched like the first 15 minutes of the hour and some change. So not to the totality of it, but, you know, yeah.
It makes me feel like his hand jokes is really probably off the table at this point, because we really got to see what he went through. He was very transparent, very open, and he even showed his hand, a close-up of his hand, and you can see all the fingers are gone, I believe, except for one. What do you think about the jokes that might continue to come? But I realize that there's no space for that, for them type of commentary.
Well, I just think he gotta get thick skin as far as that go, because it's only been 5 months since that happened. So I know he's still you know, he dealing with the trauma of that is still new to him. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Like, or he might not ever get used to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, I don't know how to really answer that question without being, you know what I'm saying?
Now, I remember when I was 16, when I had to wear a patch on my eye for a few months. I was in high school, and people had the nerve to make jokes about me having a patch and waiting to see.
What?
I was in high school at the time.
Okay.
And I'm going back to that time period, and you know how people that age can be cruel. But going back, I'm like, wow, you guys are really joking about me having one eye, and I might not even get this eye back. You know, I dealt with that for a minute, and I remember when I was on a baseball team, and I couldn't play anymore. And that was a joke. Like, this guy got one eye trying to play some ball, you know. So I'm thankful that it came back. But I do recall the cruel comments and jokes
and how you felt.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it was like I wasn't gonna fight some of these people. Some of them were girls. Girls making jokes. What am I gonna do? Smack somebody over it? I'm just listening to this. I'm like, wow, okay. But I got a couple clips that I wanted to highlight that I thought really showed a side of 4 Extras that we have never seen before. Let's play a clip. I believe it's clip 2, 4 Extra.
I ain't gonna lie, but brother, I wanted to bring it right here for everybody, bro. You get what I'm saying? I wanted to come out right here, bro, and I want to bring a genuine person, bro. You get what I'm saying, bro? And it's a whole lot of shit I want to talk about, bro. You get what I'm saying? But I want to bring it right here to everybody, you know what I'm saying? To show them where it happened at. And how did it happen? And how did that day start? I didn't think the day was gonna start off like that. You get what I'm saying? About me damn near dying. You get what I'm saying? I feel I did die because I don't know, bro. Like, the doctor said I'm gonna have PTSD.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, I feel I got some of it too, bro, because I stutter and I pause on the part of blowing up.
Understand.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure you can hear it in my voice the way I'm cracking and stopping. You get what I'm saying? But I pause and stop on that part. You get what I'm saying? So like, it's like, I don't know. I just stop. You get what I'm saying?
And there ain't nothing wrong with that, because you know what?
saying?
So many people wouldn't even be able to come back to this spot. And that shows how much strength you really got in there. For you to be able to tell this story and come back to this spot, that shows that you're built different.
Yeah. I say one thing, I done seen a lot, bro. I done did a lot, bro. You get what I'm saying? I done seen a whole lot of shit, bro. But I didn't think this, like, it was gonna end like this.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
But it didn't end, ain't nothing ended.
Yeah, but I can tell you one thing, what it did do, it made me worse for people, and it made me sicker, and it's gonna make me sick 10 times more on motherfuckers.
For real.
But I'm gonna tell you like this though, I see the bullshit, you know what I'm saying, with bullshit ass people, you know what I'm saying? I brought you get what I'm saying? But we about to get into all that though.
For real.
We about to get into all that though.
Real talk.
Right now, I wanna enjoy my time with you.
Brother, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you, bro. That's big.
We about to sit down for sure.
For real proud of you.
I want to sit down with you for sure, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I want to sit down for sure. And I want to.
Okay, so this was a clip, and this was an interview that was posted on Cam Capone News. So if you want to watch the entire interview, tap in with that channel. But what I wanted to say here is that's a clip of faux extras at the spot where it happens. And I thought what was really interesting is that he talked about PTSD. I bet you that's a conversation he ain't never had in his life, talking about PTSD. And it's good to see gang members are having more conversations about PTSD because it's real. And I'm sure you've gone through, you got some PTSD, Munchie.
I don't think so.
Oh, come on. You've been shot 6 different times?
Yeah, but look what I do. I hop in Ubers by myself. Like,
nah, you've definitely, if you've been shot one time, you got PTSD.
Listen, bro, I'll tell you, flights across from here to to Atlanta by myself, bro. I done did it before. Hit her Denver on my own before. I hop in Ubers by myself.
Yeah, but
bro, like, so describe PTSD.
I'll give you an example. I was in the car with you once.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to wear a seatbelt. You know why?
Why?
That's PTSD.
No.
Explain to the people why you don't want to wear a seatbelt.
Because if it crack off, I will never want to be stuck and restrained.
So you rather fly through a windshield in a car accident than possibly be stuck because you might get shot up again.
But people go through their whole life without having a car accident versus people that gangbang get bust on.
Yeah, but people go through their whole life without getting shot too.
No. How many gangbangers, what percentage of gangbangers went through their whole life without getting shot?
I'll say about 30.
That's not 30% went through their life without getting shot.
Yeah.
That's not a good percentage. So I'd rather be like able to escape a car if some bullets rang out and I'm not restrained, or that's not PTSD. That's being aware, taking precaution. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just something I just picked up, or I walk against traffic if I'm walking down the sidewalk. We was taught that you don't walk with your back towards traffic. That ain't PTSD. That's just stuff that we was taught.
Yeah, but you're doing, even the people that are teaching you this stuff have went through PTSD, being shot, being killed, seeing their homie get killed.
No, that's how like your homies lace your boots and train you. Okay, not to get too far off. If you the rap music teach you wrong. Empty your clip. If you go put in some work, you bust and you save something to get back to the car in case you have to retreat again.
I think a lot of the viewers are going to say, Munchie, you are dealing with a level of PTSD.
How? You not giving me examples. The things that
it's not tangible. No. PTSD is not tangible. It's not something.
No. The things I'm speaking on is things that I was taught other than the seatbelt thing. You know what I'm saying? Now I could tell you what's PTSD. I don't feel comfortable in cars without tents. Maybe that.
Yeah, all of that.
That's the only thing. No, not all of it.
There's a lot of things. I don't see you or experience you throughout an entire day, but just a little bit that I see, And the little bit I know, I do see little bits of PTSD.
So, all right, the common things that street people are aware of is automatically classified as PTSD because we looking at this car that got tints. We want to know what's in there because we got rivals.
Yeah.
It ain't because it's PTSD.
Yeah, that's PTSD.
This car ain't familiar. That's regular.
Yeah, but you're on alert.
All right, but what if your daughter walking down the street and this car got tints? She want to know is a weirdo in that car or not. She just being aware.
Yeah,
that's not PTSD.
But if she's being aware, she's being aware for a different reason. You're being aware because you might get shot, blasted, busted on.
Okay,
all
example.
of that.
What precautions do you give your daughter when she leave the house?
Oh, I tell her to constantly. I tell her don't wear those headphones that she has. You need to be able to hear everything that's going on when you're walking around because she likes to listen to her headphones.
Right.
And then, of course, don't talk to any strangers. Don't be disrespectful to a guy that's trying to holler, and you're definitely not going to give him the time of day. Don't be rude to him. Just politely either keep going or just say you're not interested, but don't be, disrespectful and rude because I don't want nobody trying to get at her aggressively.
Okay, like you said with the headphones, the same thing on the prison yard. Ain't nobody on the prison yard with no headphones on. They might crack off, you're not aware. So is that PTSD or they were just told the proper way to protect yourself and keep yourself safe?
Okay, let me answer that. I'm telling my daughter not to wear headphones so that she could hear the traffic, be aware of her surroundings. People in prison aren't wearing headphones because there might be a race riot and they want to be ready in case people start pulling out knives.
But I'm saying, is that taking precaution or is that PTSD? You gotta know how to separate the two.
Taking precaution is part of PTSD. It's the way you're preparing your day. It's the way you react to things. It's the way you function. It's your activities. Like, for example, I don't like to double park. I don't like to be sitting in my car. That's a little bit of PTSD because I've been shot at before. I've been busted on. I've seen barrels of guns. I've been fortunate enough to not.
So you're just saying moving right is PTSD, basically.
Well, I wouldn't just say moving right. I'm saying
basically because you shouldn't be no sitting duck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the average person in the city of Los Angeles is going to sit in their car and not even think about the stuff you and I think about, because they haven't been exposed to that. They didn't grow up like that. They've never witnessed it. I've seen people get busted on. I've seen we got to rush this dude to the hospital. I've seen he doesn't make it. He dies right there. Iceman died right here on Western by the firehouse. Didn't even get to make it to the hospital.
You one of the more smarter and intelligent people I know. But maybe you should look at the exact definition of PTSD. His PTSD may be that because I could hear in his voice when he got to talking about lighting the firework. His voice and I don't think it's just hard to talk about at the time. So I don't know if that's quite PTSD. I would know if it's PTSD with him next 4th of July. If he don't come out the house at all, I wouldn't blame him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but hey, peer pressure might have him out there lighting fireworks again next year. Who knows?
Well, if I got PTSD, I think it's very minute because who in my situation would do the things I do and be in the environments I be in and carry on with life the way I do.
Let me ask you this question before we talk about the clip we just saw for extras. You've been shot 6 different times.
Mm-hmm.
What % of gang members get shot 6 different occasions? That number is really small. I know people have been shot once. Maybe they've been shot twice. I heard Monster Cody said, I've been shot 6 times on 2 different occasions. You have 6 different occasions. What %?
I don't know. I can't call it.
It's less than 10.
I'm blessed.
It's less than 10. It might be less than 5.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. And but just like Skipp said, we entered a meeting where it was Inglewood families, Queen Street, Inglewood Threadsays, Inglewood 18th Streets, all these different gangs in there, and the environment, it went from mild to hot. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel no anxiety or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, have you ever felt those butterflies in your stomach when the bullets are flying?
Hold on, butterflies?
Yeah, them nervous, that nervous feeling like, oh shoot, it's going down. Somebody's about to get killed out here.
Nah, what's that shit that kick in?
Adrenaline?
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
You gonna run faster than you ever thought you could. Like, I could have been a running back. Or, like, you know what I'm saying? Or And you got to know that, like, I done been through enough. You know, you got to stay calm because you could send yourself into shock and kill yourself.
Hey, I want people to tap in if they've ever felt those butterflies in the stomach when it was about to go down.
It sound like you froze and you about to shit on yourself. That's what it sound like.
Nah, you just get them.
Nah, for real. I felt them butterflies like my first time hitting the county jail, and you hear so many stories like, nah, it's the big leagues now, and then you get that first fade out the way, and like, all right, I'm settled in now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but butterflies in a shooting situation is either I've been like real like, like, okay, like the first time they said I've been shot in the head twice. It's only been once though, but the first time I ever got shot, I got grazed, and it was like it took some off the top. So I just thought I was shot in the arm, but when the blood got coming down my face, I'm like, oh, I start tripping because I'm like, they dome me, and I'm like, what, 15? But it wasn't that, you know what I'm saying? So I had that feeling before.
Have you ever got counseling, like to talk about the stuff you've been through, the violence you've been through?
No, I ain't never had no counseling.
Okay, well, I think if you did talk to a counselor, they might be able to convince you that you have been through some traumatic situations.
But I want you to
that lingers. That traumatic stuff lingers with you, you know, for the rest of your life.
No. I want to pull up the exact definition of PTSD, and then what are the signs?
Post-traumatic stress disorder. That's what it stands for. Post-traumatic.
No, I know what
disorder.
it stands for.
Yeah.
I'm saying the definition.
Like the stuff you do after a trauma, after going through a trauma. How do you live differently? What do you do differently after going through a trauma?
The only thing I can say right now is I don't like being in cars with no tents.
Yeah, and you don't like putting on your seatbelt.
And that was before I got shot. I didn't have a seatbelt on then. That's why I almost flew through the windshield. I crashed. They lit the car up. I crashed and I almost went through the windshield.
Well, you know, the doctor or someone told 4Extra about PTSD because if you listen to that clip, he said, and I looked it up. So he went online, typed in PTSD, read a little bit about it, and
I've looked it up in the past.
Yeah,
I've looked it up in the past, and I think the things people call PTSD is just growing up in the inner city.
That's part of it.
And just like the things we pick up and we taught.
Even civilians that live in an area where there's a lot of shootings and they hear bullets often, and you know the parents tell the kids, you know, duck down or get low. You can develop PTSD from just living and experiencing that on, you know, once a week, once every 2 weeks, however often it happens in a neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, we could say for another day, like PTSD versus just being aware and prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I was glad to hear 4Extra bring that up because I am of the belief that not only soldiers in the military deal with PTSD, but growing up in an area that has violence can also expose you to PTSD, because PTSD is really a concept that was developed and theorized from soldiers going to war.
That's different. They shell shocked.
That's what it used to be called, shell shock.
I mean,
and most soldiers might only go on 2 tours. They might do 2 tours in their entire career and they're done. You know, and then you got other soldiers. There's a few soldiers that just keep going. But most soldiers do 1 or 2 tours, and it's a wrap.
Hey, no, that'll be a good segment for have a therapist come in, a counselor, and then you bring 5 game bangers and do a segment on each one. Munchie B sit down and talk to the counselor what he been through. 80 from rolling 60s. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I want to do that. I want to have about 4 or 5 brothers right here in this room, and we're going to talk about trauma.
We need a professional.
We want to talk about trauma, and have a professional. Yeah, bring in a counselor that deals with people that have to cope after going through a trauma. You know, and I think that's what we don't get living in the inner city. You just admitted you've been shot in the head, and you didn't get that counseling after. My question is, why not? Why aren't we offering that type of counseling to young people who are going through trauma in any city, not just LA, but any city? It's going to change because this conversation is becoming more and more prevalent about PTSD and violence in our cities.
Well, if you claim I got PTSD, it was pre me getting shot in the head then, because it was just the way I carry myself now is the same way before. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
So if you like, it wasn't that shot. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm telling you, most people in my situation would be scared outside.
And they should be.
No, I wouldn't blame them.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I wouldn't blame them.
Yeah.
That's why I say, like, if 4 Extras didn't come out next 4th of July, it wouldn't look away. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went through something traumatic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, I wanted to say that this 4 Extra, I wouldn't mind interviewing, even though I know he wants a bag, he wants to get paid. But previously, I had no interest in interviewing him because of the antics he would display. But if I can get a 4 Extra the way Traplo Ross got a 4 Extra, I'll sit down with bro for a whole hour and pick his brain about, you know, things he's been through in his life, not just the July 4th situation, but other things that led up to that. Because we know there's a public case on the internet, I'm not putting out anything there, where he got aired out and had to get rushed to the hospital.
No, if it's public,
what's that?
put it out. What you mean?
I'm just saying.
You ain't snitching on nobody.
No, I know. I have to preface this because there are people that listen to this saying, "Dang, why is Alex talking about this?" I'm prefacing it that you can go Google this. There's a whole case where one of his homeboys aired him out and had to rush him to the hospital. The PTSD starts then, even probably before that.
Nah, it didn't start there. That's what I'm saying. It took the hand.
Nah, he's been shot before.
Bro.
He's been through trauma before, Munchie.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't believe he had PTSD after that. He was buck wild.
Yeah, but
it took this.
You know how
it took his unfortunate incident.
We're masking it. A lot of us are too cool to show that we're suffering.
You think I'm playing too cool?
I don't know if you're playing too cool, but you're definitely in denial of the trauma that you've been through.
No, I've been through trauma, but you saying,
but you're not.
Host,
you cannot be completely healed from that trauma. You've been shot 6 different times. You've been shot in the head. You've lost your vision. There is trauma still lingering with you that you might not show it to the world, but I know it's inside.
No. See, my frustrations come from not being able to get in the car and just pull off. Okay, you know what I'm saying? The convenience of the things I used to do versus now.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the difference.
Okay. Did you want to make any comment about this clip before we go to the second clip? We have 2 clips on 4 Extra. That was a nice. Oh, also at the end of that clip, you can tell by the mic sound, there was a big hug. For those that are listening and not watching us, there was a big hug that.
Man, it was a lot of hugging. The clip I reacted to, it was a big hug, and it almost, I don't know, it sounded like he might have dropped a tear or two on the clip when he was expressing that he's not returning to no jumper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know what the next clip is, or should I wait till the next clip to get my?
Let's go to clip number 3, and then we'll go into what you got to say about that.
All right.
Bro, I can't with. They had my finger was still over there on the other side of the street. That's the cold part about it, you get what I'm saying? And that shit, like, it blew my hand off, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like my hand, bro, this what I got left on my hand. I got my hand, bro, because I had the best doctor, the best surgeon. They gave me the best surgeon, bro.
That's great.
And shout out to my doctor, you get what I'm saying? Because he saved my hand, bro.
Thank God, man.
And I thought, because they put an X right here, and they said they were supposed to cut my arm off.
Wow.
They were supposed to cut my arm off.
Oh, man.
And they were supposed to chop my arm off and stuff. So they put an X right there. But I only got my
But they put
pinky.
an X like they drew an X on.
Yeah.
And they said that's where it's going to cut.
Yeah, they cut right
Wow.
here. So I got my pinky, I got half of my thumb, and all these is gone.
Wow.
But I got my hand, my knuckles, and that's gone. And that's there, as you can see, half of that's in there, bro. And you know what I'm saying? That's gone.
And is this scars from the explosion on your other hand?
I had holes in my hand.
Man.
I had holes in my hand. It healed up nice. It was going through the other side. It blew holes through it. And my face healed up nice too. And all my shit healed up. On my face. As you can see on the pictures, I posted at the hospital, my whole face messed up. It all healed up good. It probably healed up good because I don't do drugs, smoke, or drink, and I'm healthy and I work out. For sure. But that's good because that probably saved my life.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying? I was healthy and I could survive, you know, the thing, you know what I'm saying? I probably was in shock.
Yep.
I think I was in shock. I was in shock for sure, bro. My hand was off, blood shooting out of my face. I was in shock for sure, bro. You get what I'm saying, bro?
But you lucky to be alive. You know what I'm saying? You got your life, and that's the most important thing.
Bro, I thank God.
For sure.
God the one got me here. I ain't got myself here on this one.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? He spared me a gang of times.
For sure.
He spared me big on this one. He spared me big.
That's meant to be, man.
I say he keeps sparing me. It's like he's showing me something. But I'm always don't want to listen. But he showed me, and he showed me worse and worse. You get what I'm saying? He understand I ain't gonna leave my life, I ain't gonna leave my homies. You get what I'm saying? But he probably try to show me like, slow down and take care of your homies instead of, you know what I'm talking about?
For sure.
Doing the other shit.
And you truly blessed, man. You truly blessed and chosen because you're gonna go on to show millions of people around the world. You're gonna inspire them to get through adversity, to get through difficult situations. The amount of lives that you're gonna change by going forward and doing positive shit, the shit you was already doing but taking it to that next level, and that was meant to be. God put you here for that shit.
I'm gonna tell you, this what I will say. Don't never tell nobody what you can't do. I died. It was over for me.
Okay, that's the end of that clip. And man, hey man, Trap Lil Ross.
Shout out Trap, man.
He is the most positive, optimistic guy, kind of that does this type of content with gang members, and he did a good job on that because he let him talk. If you got the wrong person interviewing Faux Extra, it's going to be a lot of interrupting, not letting him express himself, and that's what he needed to do. You didn't really need to ask a whole lot of questions. You just guided the conversation and went great. But few points for those who are just listening to us on the podcast platforms. They showed a close up of the hand that was destroyed, and you can see that there's one finger. He also was referring to his elbow. He said, well, the doctors wanted to cut from here. When he said here, he was pointing to his elbow. Apparently, that I guess they was going to amputate that high up, but he shouted out his doctors because they didn't have to take that much off. And he did show a close up of a bunch of scars in his other hand, like shrapnel. Many bits of metal must have went through the hand because there's a whole bunch of mini scars on his good hand. And he showed some scars on his face. So that's how that clip went for those that are listening to us around the world. And what's your take, Munch?
I see. It was humbling. It was a humbling experience.
Yeah,
that's what I took from it.
Yeah,
and that's it's unfortunate. The incident is unfortunate. But it's good that he had it humbled him a little bit and got him more grounded. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm about to say, the side he's showing right now, besides the humble part, he showed flashes of that before, even when he was talking loud and stuff.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did. I peeped it here and there.
No, he showed flashes of that, and then I think I might have used the wrong like verbiage, because I was even before this incident, I was like, this dude got some like abandonment issues or something, but I think that might be the wrong thing, right? But then listening to some of these clips, he said his mama rest in peace, his father's rest in peace, and then I'm like, okay, and that's why he referred like best friend, family. But like, you know what I'm saying? He be looking for that in people, you know what I'm saying? But I think abandonment is the wrong word when I use that in the past, but it's something else, you know what I'm saying? But I seen flashes of the vulnerable side of him, even through the yelling. I didn't recognize that. The new thing is the humble part. You know what I'm saying? But that's good. That's hats off to Trap Lil Ross. He got that side of him where the world could see it's another side of Faux Extras.
Most definitely. And I know he's been trying to sell his story to a large platform, and I hate to say it, but that's not the way the bigger networks work. None of the bigger networks would be interested in a story like that. But if he would have came to me, 'cause I work with a lot of these networks, by the way, History Channel, A&E, TV1, pretty much every single gang documentary that's been on these networks, I've either consulted or produced on them. What would have been a great idea is to package his story along with three or four other people's story and pitch that to a network, and that might have been sellable.
Right.
But just like a whole Netflix thing about faux extras, that would be a very difficult pitch.
Yeah, but see, even all right, prior, if he knew this, that you had the reach, and then you had an idea that could push it further, I highly doubt he would have reached out, because what he thinking is he F with the enemy, which is me. You know what I'm saying?
You think he thinks that way?
Yeah, because he said, Adam, you sitting there talking to my enemies about my hand, but I wasn't just invited on no jumper. I've been working there at the time. Been there before 4 extras. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't just invited, and it's not a day I don't work.
Are you the only rival person that's been a no jumper to him, to the 40s? You're the only rival?
I mean, if he talking about one particular day, talking about King Peel, they don't beef.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess he was referring to you. I don't think he would trip on me because look, I've known Baby Runner for almost 20 years. I just talked to Baby Runner the other day. He called me up. I chop it up with Baby Runner. I'm cool with his OGs. I know a lot of his OGs, so I don't think it would be an issue if it was about business and trying to pitch his story. But I can tell you this, I having this conversation about PTSD with you, I think it would be great to package a show with about 4 or 5 gang members from the streets in their 20s to late 30s that have been through significant trauma, a level of trauma that is unusual, such as what you've been through, such as what 4X's been through. Maybe find 4 or 5 or 6 of those people to tell their story in a multi-episode show. I think that would sell. I think I could pitch that to a couple of the networks that I mess with.
Well, you got 2 out of the 4 or the 5.
There you go. I would put Munchie B into that story. I would put 4 extras into that story, and it wouldn't be hard for me to find 3 or 4 other people.
Not in South Central LA.
Not at all.
Not in Inglewood, Compton, Long Beach.
And I don't think a story like that has been told in terms of the trauma side of what LA offers us. There's a lot of trauma that we go through in this city, and we don't really have good conversations about it. You know, the whole trauma conversation is dominated by white folks. Black folks don't want to admit it. You just sat right here and pretty much denied. And it's I'm not blaming you.
No,
black folks been doing this for decades, bro.
I wanted you to pull up the definition.
I mean, I could have just pulled it up on here on the computer, but I want to just have a more organic just conversation just about trauma without pulling up the medical or clinical definition.
We might got like 2 different definitions of it. You know what I'm saying?
It's just on the surface of it is going through trauma and where the trauma affects your life. You know, your situation affects you interacting with your daughter, you interacting with your mom, you living, how you get your food now. Can you cook your own food as often as you did before? You know, all those little things, plays a role. And white folks have been talking about trauma for over a century. And black people, we're just barely having this conversation. Probably, I'd say in the last 10 to 15 years, black folks have finally been talking about PTSD. Or trauma, we could say trauma more general, the impact of trauma. But hey, I like this version of 4 Extra. I hope he keeps it. I hope he keeps it like this.
No, it was a humbling experience. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was a humbling experience. It's the first time I ever heard him humble. But like I said, I heard flashes of his transparent, vulnerable side, even through the yelling.
Hey, now that I saw this side of 4 Extra, I would mess with 4 Extra. I would work with bro, and I would even try to pitch his story to some of my network connections, along with others, of course, because I don't think the story is just the 4 Extra story. I don't know, Netflix ain't gonna go for that. A&E ain't gonna go for that. But definitely a story about this topic can definitely be sold and get some money for this type of story. You got to know how to package it. And none of these YouTubers, I can't think of one single YouTuber that has any experience with network television, documentary filmmaking, anything. You know, I co-produced I co-produced a documentary called Bastards of the Party, HBO.
You had your hands in the NIP.
2 NIP documentaries.
Right.
I co-produced a documentary on Tookie for TV One. And I'm constantly being called and asked to work on certain projects, and a lot of them I turned down. I turned down the Timothy McGee story because they just want to go hardcore on Timothy McGee, the white boy out of Toonerville. They eventually did it, and I didn't even like the name of the show. It's called America's Most Evil. They wanted to hire me to work on America's Most Evil. I didn't even like the title of the show on the History Channel. I'm like, that ain't cool. So I turned that whole job down.
Hey, but to be real, if you I mean, not being from a game, but if you like really participating, you got like, it's something kind of like you got something kind of like wrong with you to begin with. I'm not, and I'm talking about to be vague. I'm talking about real participators.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, because you're joining at 13, 14, 15 years old. So if you're gravitated to this lifestyle at that young age, there's definitely, there could have been trauma already going on in your life at that age to make you want to hang out on the block.
Yeah, but I'm not just talking about people that hang out. Gang member. I'm talking about the people that participated.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say people names, but since you said Timothy McGee, I'm going to say people in the likes of Timothy McGee that participated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's some people that's like on death row, and I could like throw notable names. I don't know if they about to go to try to get a shot back. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but
like I did an interview with Rene Enriquez, boxer, the dude formerly from the Mexican Mafia.
Disgraced. Disgraced Mexican Mafia dropout.
Because he became a cooperator.
Right.
But he talks about, he said he didn't know it then, but he was dealing with PTSD back then because you never knew when one of your brothers from the organization was going to stick a knife in the back of your neck. Because that's how cutthroat it is. You know, they could be politicking against you behind your back and you not even know it. And then, but you can feel it. Sometimes you can feel it. They're politicking against me, but you don't know when it's coming. And now back in the day, only a Mexican mafia can stab another Mexican mafia in prison. They dropped that rule. So now that would help you because you'll know, okay, there's no other brothers on this yard. So
you gotta know where it's coming from.
Yeah, but now they'll send a Sudeño after you now. That rule is gone. They'll send the last 3 or 4 Mexican mafia dudes that have been stabbed and killed in prison were not done by other Mexican mafia members. They're sending anybody after you now. So that, you know how much PTSD that creates inside prison when you don't know where it's coming from, but you know it's coming. That's why a lot of the people bow out. That's why Boxer bowed out. He knew it was coming. It was coming for him. And he eventually said, you know what, I'm bowing out. You know, but there's some others that know it's coming. Like, for example, Danny Roman.
Hey, that's another bad example.
Who?
He bowed out because he knew it was coming. He caught that PTSD. That's called being scary. He signed up for something.
He did.
He signed up.
But
and when it was getting ugly, he tapped out. But that's not PTSD, bro. That's what I'm saying. You not defining stuff right.
No, that's 100% PTSD.
Because he tapped out?
No, before he tapped out, he was already dealing with the PTSD.
Okay,
the PTSD is already there before he tapped out.
All I hear, and that's PTSD because he tapped out. He knew it was coming, so he tapped out. And that's PTSD. Nah, he could have left the end part off.
Yeah, but just because he decided to tap out doesn't erase the PTSD that you're going through. And I was going to bring up Danny Roman, who was Popeye from Harpies. He knew there was politicking on him, and he was also asked to tap out. You know, did he tap out? No, he said, I ain't tapping out.
Okay.
And he ended up dead. He's dead right now. He got stabbed in prison. Now, some people might say he went out like a gangster. He went out like a soldier. He stuck it through the end. But I can guarantee you his family wishes he was still here. You know?
Yeah, that's a different conversation. Yeah, that's a different conversation.
But I'm just saying that there's different, there's PTSD. We're having this conversation about PTSD, and when I interviewed boxer Rene Enriquez, he acknowledged the amount of PTSD that he went through, even though that's something that all of them have denied. You know, no one wants to admit it because for most people it's a sign of weakness, even though it's not. It's not a sign of weakness, but most people consider it a sign of weakness to admit or have the conversation about PTSD. But I don't want to get all into the PTSD, man. We've already covered that enough. Faux extra.
It's a good conversation.
Oh, it's a hell of a conversation.
All right.
But hey, 4Extra, he did a great job on this interview. This is the first time I truly enjoyed watching him. I don't like the other 4Extra. I don't like the off the back, squabbling. I knocked him out. I don't like that 4Extra at all. This is the 4Extra I want to tap in with. And
I can see why you say that.
Yeah, and on that note, we're gonna move on to the Tory Lanez, man. Your boy Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez gave an interview to NBC News from prison, and I am completely confused on how he was able to do this interview because it was not a tablet interview. It was definitely not a tablet interview. That camera on Tory Lanez looked it sharp, it looked it clear, and the CDC swears they do not give individual interviews. They only give random interviews. So I can go up to a prison and say, hey, I want to interview some guys, and they'll pick out some random guys for me. But if I go to the prison and say, hey, I want to interview Munchie B.
That ain't true because Marsha Cody did it.
No, I'm talking, that was like 20-something years ago. Yeah. As of, it's a new rule.
So how Blueface just do it?
Blueface was on a yard where the organization was just going up to people randomly.
Blueface is random? Was random?
Yeah, that was random interview.
Okay, this dude from Broadway telling this story. I forget his name. He in there for murder. They said he killed his friend. Unalived his friend. Was that random?
Well, probably. The CDC does not allow you to request a specific interview with a person. It is against the policy for the last 10 years. But the one that they're the organization that was on the prison yard where Blueface was at, they were interviewing multiple people. They have a whole YouTube channel of prison interviews, but all of their interviews are random. So they didn't say, hey, can we interview Blueface? They were just on the yard, just going up to people. So that's how that happened. But this Tory Lanez interview is very specific. So I don't know how it happened. I'm going to do my due diligence and find out how it happened. But, he's still fighting for his freedom like most brothers are doing.
I don't think he gonna get free before it's set release date, bro. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think that he's approaching it all wrong. But I got 2 clips of his interview. Let's play clip 4, Tory Lanez.
Tonight, rapper Tory Lanez breaking his silence in his first ever broadcast interview from behind bars since being found guilty of shooting Grammy winner Megan Thee Stallion in the foot outside a party in 2020.
I've never been violent towards a woman. I would never hit a woman, let alone shoot a woman.
Lanez, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, spoke to NBC News from California Men's Colony, a prison where he's 3 years into a 10-year sentence after being found guilty on 3 felony counts, including assault with a semi-automatic firearm.
There is definitely a very big misconception about me that seems to the public as I'm this monster. And I feel like I was catapulted into this poster child for the unprotection of Black women. And it's just so unlike me. And I've never really had a chance to express that. But you can look at my criminal record. I don't have one. I never had one. And I feel like, that connotation that I would do anything of this monstrous proportion is completely incorrect and it's wrong.
Lanez declined to testify during his 2022 trial.
Do you regret not taking the stand?
I think if I would have taken the stand, the verdict would have definitely been very different.
The rapper's legal team filed an appeal, which was denied in November. But his team is continuing to fight, with plans to file multiple appeals next week, this time with the California Supreme Court, in one claiming newly discovered evidence that they weren't provided during Lanez's 2022 trial, including hundreds of pages of medical records for Megan Thee Stallion, whose real name is Megan Pete, which they allege raise questions about the fragments removed from her foot after surgery. His team argues that the fragments were not provided ahead of trial and that this was a violation of due process.
And we didn't have that chance. Or perhaps we could have questioned the doctors differently when they were on stand to impeach them, because it does look suspicious.
But in the appeal denied in November, the court did address the fragments, ruling that the surgeon's testimony was, quote, more than sufficient to prove great bodily injury on Pete. Proving something like this on appeal is tough.
This is a really, really difficult appellate argument for defendants to prove because they have to show if the evidence actually came into court, the jury would have found differently. It's an uphill battle, and it's something that often torpedoes any defense appellate argument.
There you go. That's Tory Lanez.
So Tory Lanez not his real name is Daystar Peterson.
Daystar Peterson.
So where did he get Tory Lanez from? I wonder.
I don't know. His father's name is Sunstar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Megan's real last name is Pete. So you got Pete and Peterson.
And my dad's side of the family, his mother is last name Pete. My grandmother. I'm like, damn, that's not even common. My family from Memphis is Pete.
Yeah. Is it Pete?
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Might be related.
Might be.
Yeah. So you got Megan Pete and Daystar Peterson. Pete and Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel for Tory Lanez, unfortunately. I think he's approaching this all wrong. In fact, one of his folks reached out to me like maybe a year or two ago and literally asked me for some advice. So I gave them an outline on how to deal with the appeal, which issues to hit, telling him and then saying he should not speak, talk, do interviews, nothing. And they went completely against everything I recommended. I was like, all right, they're not serious. They're not serious at all.
I don't know. I say free that man, but you know, I don't think it's likely that before that EPRD, the earliest parole release date, it ain't happening.
Nah, but I would say that I don't think anyone's calling him a monster. And if they are, that's not accurate. You can't define a man by a mistake they made on one night. You know, it was truly a mistake. I believe he was extremely intoxicated.
And they wasn't outside of a party.
No, it wasn't outside of a party. They had just left the party.
Yeah, what them news people talking about?
Yeah, they left the party. They was on a street in Hollywood Hills. And he said he didn't have any criminal record, but they actually brought in an arrest during the trial. I was in the trial, by the way, for those who didn't know. I was in the trial for every single day from opening statements to the verdict. And I didn't miss a day. And they did bring in some arrest, an assault he had, I believe, in Florida.
What happened with it, though?
He ended up pleading guilty to it and then taking probation. And then if he successfully completed the probation, he would have like have it. I don't know, like the taken away or something.
He don't have a record then, like you
well,
said.
that's the whole argument in court. So the defense was like, this shouldn't come in because he already honored the probation and he successfully completed it. The prosecutors was like, hey, it's an assault and we need to bring that in. And there was a big back and forth between the attorneys on that. So I guess technically he can say, I don't have a criminal record, even though he was arrested and pled to an assault. It's a tricky.
It ain't no tricky. He don't have a record. He handled his obligations and it's not there no more.
Okay, but he's saying he doesn't have a record because I don't have a record. There's no way I could have did this to Megan. But no, you actually did an assault to someone else.
No. He said I don't have a record, meaning there's no record of it. It shouldn't be there. He you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. He is trying to defend that there's no way I could have did this to Megan. I don't even have a record. I don't have a criminal record.
If they going by the letter of the law and looking at, okay, like when I got my OR, that's talked about so much. My lawyer said Scary Banks don't have no convictions since 2011. I was shocked to hear that. And it's 2025. I don't have no convictions. All these arrests they see from 2011 all the way to 2025, there's no convictions.
Yeah.
So like he didn't say nothing wrong or inaccurate.
Well, I think he's being a little deceptive though.
No.
Because it came into the court, so now it's part of the public record. We do know you did do something. And then they also brought up the August Alsina assault. I don't think anything happened with that because this trial took over and they probably just said, well, he's in prison already. You know, no need.
So if some points get taken off your driving record, but you previously had them, but you did whatever you had to do to get them taken off, you gonna say, well, what you gonna say?
Hey, I'm probably gonna try to defend myself to the fullest.
You gonna say I don't have any points on my driving record, right?
Yeah, but you got to understand how
Right or wrong?
the system don't play that game.
I'm asking you a question, right or wrong? You trying to go for this job driving buses for Metro, and you gonna say I don't have any points on my driving record, right?
It's for a certain time period, right? For the last 3 years?
It don't matter. They gone. You did what you have to do for the points to be gone, taken off.
Yeah.
So when you going for this job to work for Metro and drive Metro buses or laid law to drive the school buses, you're gonna say I don't have any points on my driver record, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he could say he don't have a record.
Well, it didn't work in the trial.
I'm telling you because you acting like he wrong for saying what he said.
Well,
he's not wrong.
He knows that it came out in the trial, and
he
that
never said I've never been arrested.
He should. Well, it was more than arrested.
Yeah, he never said that. I've never been arrested.
Yeah,
he said I don't have a record.
Okay, and then his other argument is that they didn't bring the bullets that they pulled out of Megan's foot into the courtroom.
I don't know what difference that is.
Yeah, to parade around the jury. They had a doctor from Cedars-Sinai. I believe his name was Dr. Haruna. He was a young doctor, probably like early 30s. And he said, I did surgery on Megan. He was very detailed, very specific. He said those are bullet fragments. He had x-rays. He showed that there were fragments in both feet. He said there's a bunch of tiny fragments that I'm not going to be able to remove, but I removed the chunkier ones and bandaged her up and sent her on her way. It was pretty. That doctor's testimony clearly proved that bullets went in her foot, both feet actually, but only one foot was severely damaged. So what are they trying to say? Impeach means to prove that someone's testimony is false. The person in that clip said maybe they would be able to ask better questions with the doctor to impeach him. Well, that doctor's unimpeachable. He came in there with the x-rays, with the science. You'd have to say he's a liar. And this is he is not like, he doesn't have a dog in this fight. He's just a private doctor at a private hospital asked to come in and testify about the surgery he gave Megan. So now he's a liar, and then the police are liars because they didn't bring the bullet fragments. It's just a flawed argument. That's all. And he didn't take the stand because he would have been destroyed on the stand.
Yeah, he's saying that now, man. But you wasn't supposed to take the stand.
No, his lawyer said you can't take the stand, and it would have been worse.
They would have ate him alive.
Yeah, because they want to know, okay, who shot Megan then? Who shot Megan? What are you gonna say?
You would have been forced to say Kelsey.
You would have had to say either Kelsey or the driver, Jaquan. You're gonna say one of them did it, And he realized I ain't taking the stand. It would not have turned out any better if he took the stand.
I don't know. I'm just pro Tory, man.
Well, pro Tory in what sense?
Because I'm an accountability person, bro, and this all started from somewhere. So like I think everybody should have just took their licking and just let it offset.
Well, I would agree with that, but at the end of the night, he decided somebody got shot, so it was taken to the next level.
The bullet hit the floor. She didn't get shot. It doesn't. You know what bullet fragments is?
Yeah, but in the state of California, if a bullet ricochets off the ground and hits you, you got shot. It still counts as a shooting. It ain't looked at any different. I know. I got a homeboy named Elbone from 29th Street. He got killed from a ricochet. Instead of it landing in the foot like it did with Megan, the ricochet landed in his head, and he died back in 1987 or 88. And everybody was like, wow, that was a ricochet. And it happened. So, yeah, you can kill somebody with a ricochet.
Right.
But, all right, let's play the second clip 5 of Tory Lanez.
The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office and representatives for Megan Thee Stallion have not responded to NBC News' request for comment.
I believe not only that I was wrongfully convicted, but the amount of new evidence that has emerged since that trial, I think, has been overwhelming.
What has life been like in prison for the last couple of years?
Truthfully, I've done my best to keep my head above water, but mentally, I've gone through trauma that I sometimes even struggle with because I never imagined myself dealing with things that I would have to deal with. I've been stabbed 17 times. I almost lost my life.
If you could say something to Megan Thee Stallion today, what would it be?
I think that I wouldn't say something directly to her. I'd like that moment to happen in person. We've both gone through a lot. There's this connotation that, like, I share this hatred for her, but I don't. I've genuinely passed that. I'm at a place of healing in my life. I'm at a place of taking accountability for the things that I did wrong. And when I talk about my case, I don't want it to be taken as me coming at her, because it's not that. I'm just asking for somebody in the system to look at my case and look at the evidence and ask if this was fair.
And with that, Chloe Malas joins us now on set. So, Chloe, Tory Lanez is also seeking a pardon from Governor Gavin Newsom?
That's right. His legal team has filed the necessary paperwork, and it is before the governor now. So they're seeking either a pardon where his criminal record will be wiped clean, he would be released from prison, or to have his sentence commuted, meaning that the time he has served is sufficient, and release him, but that doesn't change his criminal record. As for when this could happen, the governor typically does these twice a year, so this could happen before the new year.
All right. Chloe Malas for us, Chloe.
All right, there you go. Where you want to start with, man?
Man, commuted sentence, governor. That's not what I gotta say. Jail is for criminals. That man ain't no criminal.
Yeah, I would support a commutation because he's already been in there about 3 years. He's only going to do 66% of that 10 years. He's not doing the whole 10. So that's about 6 years. So he's got about three years left.
30% is a lot for him because, you know, he come from mansions and luxury condos to a cell.
Yeah.
A California king-size mattress to a thin-ass mat. You feel me? So I could imagine, like, you feel me? But I just, man, accountability is everything, man. Megan, in her mind, whether she admitted it or not, she know where she went wrong. I mean, I don't know if the world know it, and I just got rapper friends. I know she got a drinking problem to where she go too far, she get wild, and you know what I'm saying?
Hey, everybody there was intoxicated. Kelsey, Megan, and Tory. Them three were all drunk as a skunk.
But everybody trying to enjoy themselves. She left and had the driver bring her back. That's what I'm saying. You gotta, like, it's accountability. Like, I don't know,
hey,
man.
She did what a woman does. She got jealous that Tory was still in the pool.
That ain't enough to send somebody to prison, bro.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to shoot somebody because you're pissed about that. I mean, I agree that she should have never came back, but pulling out a gun and busting, a gun was fired because there's audio of the gunshots. The neighborhood called 911. Somebody pulled a gun out. Somebody busted because they were all drunk.
Yeah, and this could go on forever because what about the inconsistencies in the testimony, man? The dude that was looking from the balcony, he said one thing in Tory's favor, went on a recess and came back with a whole different spiel.
Because he got asked different questions.
No,
he got asked questions.
His testimony went in a way different direction.
Nah, I wouldn't say it went in a different direction. He just had more answers for more questions. He had answers for the defense that favored Tory, but once the prosecution got this witness on the stand, then some of those questions didn't favor Tory. And that happens with every witness. You got questions that favor the defense. Okay, let me take a crack at it now. Prosecution, I got different questions to ask you. Oh, it ain't looking so good. We've seen it on those dramas all the time on TV where a person's testifying and it's looking good for the defendant. It's looking good. And then the other lawyer comes and destroys it. That's what happened to that witness. I sat right there and watched the whole thing. But it was more than just that one witness. It was a whole bunch of things. But this guy Tory said in this clip, and I know the family's going to hate me, but I'm going to keep it real. There has been no new evidence produced since that trial's been over. No new evidence.
You don't know that, though. Who you talking to behind the scenes?
I'm talking about all the new evidence that's been the so-called new evidence. One is Jaquan wants to make a statement now. Jaquan wants to say that X, Y, and Z in Tory's favor. Well, that's not new evidence because Jaquan was at court and chose not to testify. He was there on a Friday and chose not to testify. And now all of a sudden he's got all these things to say. That's the newest evidence that's come out since he's been convicted. And I don't think that would have changed him. And really what's bothersome about claiming you've been wrongfully convicted, that's fine. We know a lot of people wrongfully convicted. Then you're supposed to go at Megan hard. Oh, well, I don't got nothing negative to say about Megan.
Everybody approach is different. You see, and then if you go at her hard, then it's like you got these women coming at you now.
Well, if you trying to convince us you were wrongfully convicted, you are never supposed to keep your foot off the gas.
Nah, bro. Okay, them being celebrities, they dealing with public perception. So you got to approach things differently. Now, if he go hard on Megan, you got all these women coming at him now, and it's not a good look.
I agree. It's not a good look because he got nothing to support that.
So no, it ain't about support. You could be all the way in the right. The women go rock with, oh well, she's a woman. And I mean, when we get off camera, we can ask your wife. Like, bro, I never asked or inquired on how she felt about it, how she felt about Tory, right? But I bet you she leaning in Megan favor. And if he would have came hard at her, it would have been way, way worse.
Well, if you're truly wrongfully convicted, you keep your foot on the pedal. You don't never take it off. You basically bowed out of the debate now. He's bowed out the debate that he was wrongfully convicted, but he's trying to still convince us he was wrongfully convicted.
When you're a celebrity and you're going through some things, high profile cases or whatever, you got to play the public game. You got to play their game. You got to make sure you paint it in the right light.
Well, I think
right or wrong?
I feel like he should go hard. You go hard. If you're innocent, you go hard. If you're truly innocent, you'll be vindicated through an appeal. But there's no path for an appeal. I thought that I actually outlined. I wrote an article on this where I outlined all the issues that happened in the trial that Tory could bring up on an appeal. And one of them was the tattoo of the AK-47 on his chest.
That's some Tupac shit.
The Tupac tattoo that I didn't feel I felt it was unfair to use that tattoo that the prosecution used. I thought it was extremely biased, and I think that maybe the jury felt a certain kind of way, and that may have helped. That may have slightly contributed to the conviction. But the counter argument is, if they didn't show the tattoo, would the trial went in a different direction? Would they have came back not guilty? Probably not. But you still have a couple of arguments there that he's not focusing on. He should be saying, hey, the prosecution introduced some things that were very unfair to me. They introduced a tattoo of an AK-47 on my chest, which was really a Tupac tattoo. It was an homage to Tupac, and they tried to paint me as a villain. Like, that's the way you defend yourself after you've been convicted. But, they didn't want to take my advice. That's cool. He's got his own method, but I don't think it's going to work. And, hey, him being stabbed 17 times, we found out that he's on like a 50-50 yard, right? Or one of those, I don't know if it's a PC yard or SNY. I don't know what they're calling it.
Whatever it is, it ain't completely GP like I thought.
Yeah, but if he was on a GP yard, he probably would not have gotten stabbed 17 times, which is crazy because these other yards, whatever we're calling them, they have more violence on them now.
Yeah, them PC yards, they don't have no structure, no real politics.
Yeah, so Tory might have had a better situation just going to GP and thugging it out on GP. But, it's all after the fact. But that's to future people that are somewhat high profile and you're going to prison. A lot of high profile people have walked the main line,
Hey, even rich or not, bro, when you fight certain cases, depending on the dynamic of it, you gotta approach it like certain ways. If you know your victim is a woman, and then you gotta approach it a different way. You gotta be sensitive to the masses, women all around the world, because your public perception. Your jury, out of 12, it might be 6 women, so you can't be accusatory type vibe, and you can't be shrugging shoulders. Like, well, I'm innocent. I don't care about what happened with her. You know what I'm saying? Because the women go lead in the side of the woman. And that go for anything. If it's a hate crime, if it's some gay people on the jury.
That might be the reason why Gavin Newsom does not commute his sentence, because of women's rights and victims' rights with women. He might say, I ain't touching this one.
Right, right. It's sketchy when you fighting the case. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I want to know, dude, although she got bullet fragments in her foot, okay, do you feel any kind of way that you wasn't fully truthful about this your testimony? You lied, and then there's somebody that you had slept with and you considered a friend at some capacity is sitting in prison while you was messing with all these ball players, athletes. You mess with Klay Thompson right now. Like you just living your life and somebody in a pen behind 70-30 or 60-40, both y'all stupidity.
Yeah.
No, for real. Like, do you feel any kind of way?
I don't think she does.
That's crazy, bro.
I don't think she should, because a gun got pulled out. And whatever she did that you don't like, I don't like, a gun should not have been pulled out. Whether you think Tory did, somebody pulled a gun out. Even if you don't believe Tory pulled the gun out, somebody pulled a gun out on her, and she ended up with a bleeding from the ankle and having to go to a surgery because of some DMP stuff. That's what it was all about. It was about DMP.
Hey, if I had the funds and when he's released, I would go to Kelsey, and I won't. But we gotta put this in writing. You gotta give me the complete truth and give us the spill on what happened that night, bro. Even if it incriminates you, because she was given immunity anyway. And when you given immunity, they know you guilty.
No, that's not true. They give you immunity to force you to testify.
They give you immunity because they felt you played a part of the crime.
No, they give you immunity because you have information about a crime.
If you're given immunity, your freedom is at stake.
Yeah, but
so that's what I'm saying. Why would Kelsey freedom be at stake?
Because it's not her freedom. If you have information about a crime, they bring you to court, right?
Right.
They subpoenaed you because they know you have information. Not that you did something wrong, but you have the information that they want the jury to hear. You can sit there and say, I plead the fifth, right? And they can't force you to say anything. But then if you're offered immunity, you do not have the right to plead the fifth anymore. They strip you away from that amendment. That's the way they get innocent people that have incriminating information to testify. And you can still say no.
Hey, listen.
Then you can be held in contempt, and they'll hold you in jail for a couple months.
When you plead the fifth, you some way involved with the crime.
Not every time.
Like a civilian ain't gonna plead the fifth.
No.
Hold on.
Yeah.
A neighbor that's next door and they just want to knock on the door. We want to know how many shots did you hear. That you say I don't want to talk. They not gonna say I plead the fifth.
No, they won't say they plead the fifth in that situation.
People that plead the fifth is somewhat. Even if you the victim.
No, I have a case where someone, baby mama, they subpoenaed her because she knew something about her baby daddy, and
where was she?
She was a witness to it.
So she was there when the crime took place.
She was a witness to the crime. They wanted her to testify against her baby daddy.
Right.
So
she was there.
So she pled the fifth. The judge told her, I am giving you immunity, so you cannot plead the fifth anymore. And she said, take me to jail. And she ended up going to jail because she didn't want to tell on her baby daddy.
Hey, listen. She pled the fifth, and I would want to know what went on with the case. Did they feel she had some type of involvement? Did she drive them there?
No. She was a witness to a crime. She was not even a part of this case. But the prosecution knew that she knew. They wanted her to testify against her baby daddy. She didn't want to do it.
Pleading the fifth. So she had some knowledge of the crime.
She had knowledge of the crime, and she pled the fifth.
And she was there.
She was there.
She's supposed to plead the fifth.
Yeah.
That's some type of involvement with it.
No, you could plead the
I ain't say you did the crime. That's you involved with it.
Nah.
All right. Yeah.
Same thing happened with Bone during the whole Terry Carter thing. He pled the fifth. He was the victim of the crime, and they forced him to testify.
Listen, being a victim, you don't plead the fifth.
No, you plead the fifth whenever you don't want to testify and answer questions.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
I'm telling you plead the fifth if you somewhat involved with the crime.
So you don't believe that an innocent person could plead the fifth?
I just got you an example. if you knock on the next door neighbor and they just want to know how many shots did you hear, they not gonna say I plead the fifth.
Yeah, because you're not in the court. This is you don't plead the fifth. I mean, you can plead the fifth anywhere you want to plead it. Actually, you can watch these YouTube videos.
You watch it.
You ever watch these YouTube videos where the cop goes up to you and says, "What's your name? What's your name?"
I lived through it. That's what I'm saying with this plead the fifth.
Yeah, you can plead the fifth and say, "I'm pleading the fifth. I'm not giving you my name." You know, they can't force you to give you their name. You can plead the fifth. You're not guilty of a crime.
You got a right to remain silent.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, but that's what you
see. This is
you only telling somebody you got the right to remain silent if you being.
No, innocent people. See, this is where our rights get trampled on. Innocent people have the same rights too.
Bro, what do you don't confuse the viewers. What you mean innocent people?
If I don't want to answer a cop's question,
but who are you not wanting to answer it? Who are you?
Let's just say,
because you told me a story when they knocked on your door.
Oh yeah, that was about a Amber Alert. But let's just say I'm at LA Live or I'm at some public place and there's a shooting, and everyone says, I didn't see the shooting, but Alex over there, he saw it. Everyone say Alex saw it. So the police come to me and say, what happened? And I say, hey, I don't want to answer any questions. But everyone's telling us you saw it, Alex. Yeah, but I don't want to answer any questions. They cannot force me to answer questions because of the Fifth Amendment. No, they can't.
They can't force you, but you don't use the verbiage. I plead the fifth.
If they subpoenaed me to come to court for the preliminary hearing against some guy they arrested, I would be forced to plead the fifth.
You just get up there and hey, bro.
That's exactly what the fifth is for.
If you pled the fifth, why would you land in court?
They can subpoena me because they know that I saw it.
I ain't gonna agree, bro. Pleading the fifth, you got some type of like.
Okay, so you believe that only guilty people plead the fifth?
Not guilty people.
Okay, innocent people cannot plead the fifth?
People that have nothing to do with the crime, but it's a witness, they ain't not gonna plead the fifth.
Yeah,
they just gonna close their door.
All right,
like you did in the past.
Okay,
right.
All right.
What you say?
No,
so you told him you plead the fifth?
I'm disagreeing.
You close the door. You said, "Am I arrested?" No. All right.
Yeah, I didn't use that terminology then, but I could have. I could have said I plead the fifth. All right, but we're gonna close this out. But before we close this out, Munchie, I heard that you quit No Jumper. I saw a video you did, live actually, where you decided to address this, and of course we couldn't do an episode here without talking about it. This was based on an episode you did on the Tuesday show at No Jumper, really right after you left here. And hey, you left here the way you are now, full senses, sober, and you got up there drunk as a skunk. What happened between point A and point B, bro, on the same day?
I hate that you said that because Winnie 100 went on the Adam and Wax show and was like, hey, you made a good point, Adam. He don't be like that on Alex's show.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
You had the coldest point. He's never on Alex's page drunk. It was crazy. This is the bigger platform, so it seems to me you would want to be more professional here.
Hey,
I'm like, Wack he's a Vinge street TV watcher.
Hey, you know how much I dislike that guy.
Wack is a supporter. You gotta love him.
Oh yeah,
he subscribed. He watched this. He watching me right now.
He's watching us right now because he knows that these two guys are really tapped into the city. These two guys really are plugged in. These are the real deal guys that can pick up a phone and get pretty much anybody from across this entire county on the phone for a conversation. And let me just tell you this, man, after that episode aired, I'm gonna have to say Wack100 is right, but he was just confirming what Adam said, right? So yeah. So I mean, they're right on that. I'm not gonna take.
He wasn't right about nothing. He was just.
He was just.
He had no bullet points.
Yeah, but hey, man, I got quite a few calls. Most of them I didn't take, but I got a call from OG Rag, and that's a call that you always take. And he was a little disappointed in you and what he saw at No Jumper. I think he was disappointed in Adam too. He felt like that man should not have been addressing you the way he addressed you. But at the same time, there were some concerns about you being drunk.
Right. What you asking me a question?
Yeah, well, that's not a question. It's more of I'm just expressing a conversation that I had.
Oh yeah, no.
And I did tell the OG that I was going to talk to you, and hope that that doesn't happen again. But at the same time, Munchie's his own man, and I can't tell Munchie to stop drinking. I could say we're not drinking on this podcast, but what happens after you leave here, that's all up to you.
No. Ragtime somebody I respect and I listen to and give an ear to. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
So like coming from him, it ain't like you getting checked or you know what I'm saying. I take what he say into consideration. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
And these are people that love and respect you, man. I mean, they're tied into your family.
Right.
Like you're not just. I'm not saying family like in the loose sense. I'm talking about blood family.
Right.
Right. So people are concerned.
Hey, well, like I said, with the Megan thing, everything start from somewhere, and I take accountability. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even worried. I said in the past, I woke up on some celebrating thing, and it was a minute type of little. Somebody got some news. I left here with a gallon. I went over there. I was drinking, and I was past intoxicated. And then things led to what it led to, but I was there, but I wasn't there. I was so faded. You know what I'm saying? so when the next day when I run across titles, I'm like, huh? You know what I mean? Kick. You know what I'm saying? And I text the dude that I have with me. Hey, that dude kicked me. He's like, no. He was trying to put some separation between y'all. He didn't like boot you or. I'm like, yeah, because where the was you at if he kicked me? Because you there for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We not, this ain't no field trip. And then I text Adam, hey, bro, you put your feet on me? He said, no, I didn't kick you. It wasn't no force with it. I was just trying to get away from you. Right? I'm like, all right, so why that title like that? And then when I did my response, I said, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Mikey, you know what I'm saying? You a F ninja for that, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt he put that title, but he texted me, hey, I didn't do that title, you know what I'm saying? But I don't feel the way about you saying that because, I mess with you much. I'm like, all right, my apologies. And he was like, yeah, no, all good. And you need me for anything, you can hit me. But man, I'm low key. I'm like, and he is though, you know what I'm saying?
So where did that title of Adam kicking you come from?
I know Jumper with them social, with like the what you want to call it? The social medias, Twitter, Instagram, it's like 3 different people that got that password to do that, right? And then, so to post whatever they post, and then you got the people that put the title. It's a rotating 2 or 3 that could have did that. You know what I'm saying? Adam don't do the titles though. That's what I could say, bro.
But he could definitely get a title change though.
But them titles that come before the Tuesday show, he's responsible. Like the Tuesday show about to premiere or something. He gonna be putting together that title. You know
okay, so does that title still exist as of now?
It don't matter. It's already there now. So what do it matter? And that's the narrative.
Well, changing the title.
What would that do for me?
Well,
after it's up, like that's like if I take a picture of Adam and it's some embarrassing ish, and it come down. I mean, it's already been covered, reacted to, this and that. So what would that do for me, the change in the title?
It was just established that was an incorrect title that shouldn't have existed.
I'd rather him establish that out of his mouth.
Well, he should do both. Change the title.
He kind of did it out of his mouth.
Vlad had a title about Mob James, talking about I put out fake paperwork on Mob James. He put that in the title, and he immediately changed that.
I mean, you cared enough to push the issue.
Yeah, and I think that matters. It's about honest and truthful, broadcasting.
I'm more so on the you complain when the shows was canceled last year, you were bummed. I'm like, first of all, I ain't no white boy. What is bummed? So I guess down or sad about it. That's a lie. Flacco was a witness to that. I group texted Flacco.
I was a witness to it too, because after the fact, I would hear you say, I ain't even tripping on that.
Right.
Yeah.
I never, so that was a lie.
I heard that with my own ears.
Right. And then I think after a while he seen I was inebriated, and after the first don't touch me, he's like, oh, he faded. And then it kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how much of what he did you thought was performance. Because I've never really seen him act like that. It didn't even seem
the first beginning of the "Don't Touch Me" was him. After a while, it became a performance.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Became a performance. But
so that means he's thinking in his head, content,
showing out like
Yeah.
but like I said, and then you don't invade nobody's space and be touching them. I know that because if you get like where my walk of life, you'll get stuck or whatever. But a lot of his was performance because he's not like that. And then if I was not even drunk, less intoxicated, he wouldn't have went on like that. It wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? If I was less, not even just completely sober, if I was less, he wouldn't have went that far. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna take accountability about even because I do self checks and check myself on stuff. You know what I'm saying? What you go to work, you're supposed to be prepared, professional, punctuality, and shit. Sober. You at work, but when you in a lax environment like that, that don't mean take advantage of it and just get fat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you can.
But I'm almost certain he doesn't mind you drinking a little bit on the show because it brings out a little bit more of what they like to do on No Jumper.
All right.
You know, but I'm not a fan of drinking at all in podcasts. I remember one time I had you and Spider in here, and man, you guys was going at it. And
but you didn't shut down drinking in here. I made that conscious decision.
Well, I don't want drinking in here. I definitely I stopped the smoking. I even put a sign over here, no smoking, no smoking in here. And
no. And that's another thing. When Ant reacted to my initial reaction to the whole fiasco, he said, yeah, because when I went to Alex Alonso, like, there was no smoking because it's a building that, like, you can't smoke it. No, that's not the reason. No. Adam just made that a rule. Like when Spider was doing interviews and he was smoking, you didn't really appreciate it and you put an end to it. Yeah. It ain't because the building that we in don't allow it.
Nah, we could smoke in here if we wanted to, but I started realizing.
But that's what Ann said, and that wasn't true.
Yeah, that's not. I did after a while, after letting people smoke, I started realizing I don't like that style of podcasting. Right. I don't like seeing people rolling blunts and smoking. I can see how distracted sometimes people are because you're trying to have a conversation, but you're rolling a blunt at the same time. At least have your blunts ready. Why is it so hard to show up with already rolled blunts? So that part I didn't like. And then just the smell and the smoke going into all this equipment here. I literally have thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment and other equipment, and it slowly damages the equipment from what I was told.
No, I just said this. I said that to say you set that rule like no smoking. It wasn't because where we program at right here, you're not allowed to smoke.
Correct. If Young and Hefe would have came probably a year before,
he would have been in here blowing.
Yeah, he would have been in here smoking with Brick Baby, with Spider. Who else? Quite a few people been up in here smoking.
Right.
But nah, man, I'm not with that. That's not. I'm trying to do a clean podcast.
Right.
And I think you're a better podcaster when you're clean, when you're sober. But I do know that when you have a little bit to drink. Not the way you were the other day, but just a little bit. It brings out a little bit more opinions and more conversation that No Jumper likes. They definitely thrive off of that. Mm-hmm. I don't need that over here. But of course, I'm not here. I'm not a content whore.
Hey, but see, all right, what I'm gonna say to that, right? To sum it up, because this last video I just did regarding No Jumper, I came across something I didn't like as far as Young Ant. So when I clicked on it, I only heard like the first 15 seconds and I clicked out. So some people in my comments said, hey, you was wrong because he didn't even say nothing negative about you in that content. He was reacting to something that Spider said about a picture or X, Y, and Z, right? But see, them titles could be misleading though. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, like certain, and what I said was, I ignore certain things I could have covered as far as Young Ant. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I don't, in certain stuff, I don't care to talk about freaky shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Talking about my pants was down or some weird shit. Like, why is that even a conversation? So that's, I'm like, okay, well, he covering that. And I ignored a whole lot as far as he go. And that's why I exploded and went at Young Ant. You know what I'm saying? Young Ant since then put out 2 videos, I believe. I ain't watching whatever he said. I don't care. I don't take it no way. Because I said what I said. There ain't no problems with Young Ant. And I ain't even mad at Adam. But I'm going to say this, though. Moving forward, how Adam carry it, and if he want to carry it, make it go on content last forever, and make that your you know how people well he pretty big. He don't need to attach his name to nobody, but you know how people do. If the move, depending on how you move forward with this, and what I hear, that's how I'm gonna move forward.
You mean if he drags it out as more content?
Well, you could talk about it because I'm in a content space, but how we talk about it determine how I'm gonna react. But like I said, I'm not even mad at him because I shouldn't have been there faded like that. And then I believe out of the Bloods, I'm the biggest podcaster, the most notable podcaster. So being inebriated like that on a big platform, it ain't a good look. It make like the Bloods as a whole, it look like you know what I'm saying? It's not for like Inglewood family, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Shit, she 19. She got friends like, yo, dad, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not a good look to even go to work like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I take responsibility. But Adam know damn well if I was a little bit more sober, it wouldn't have went like that. And then, like, shut the fuck up. Like, yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even in the right mind space to even react. And, like, I was there physically, but I wasn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was sleepwalking.
Yeah. One thing I did notice, I haven't seen you drink Hennessy too often. You usually have that deer juice when you do drink. Did that have anything to do with it?
No, I don't think so. We was live for 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's like, because in the beginning of I didn't look back at the whole 5 hours, but that's a shift.
You don't even need to look at it. You already know.
No. Yeah, I know I effed up. No, I go off one clip and they're like, okay, that ain't right. You feel me? So, but the beginning of when it started, I was cool. Over time, and that's when it, you know what I'm saying? But
so you don't think Adam could have handled that a little differently with you?
Yeah, he could have, because the performance side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He started performing after a while. The first, don't touch me. All right, that was, but after a while, you just performing. But, you know what I mean? Like I said, I take accountability on the faded thing. So, you know what I mean?
I don't think you can argue with someone that's intoxicated, because there's only two things you can do. You're either going to knock the person out or you're going to walk away from it. You can't argue with somebody that's drunk.
Yeah, I got a rebuttal to that, but I got to go to court next month. No, for real. I got a rebuttal to that, but no, like I said, I don't feel no way. You know what I'm saying? I just I decided to take a step back from that environment, get back to some regular content, you know what I mean? And then you know what I mean? And then, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like last year when the show got canceled, I didn't feel away. And right now I don't feel away, but I'm just watching, micromanaging Adam moving forward. And that's it. It gets a high, you know what I'm saying? Because the phone conversation and the text, I just want to see if it match up with the on-camera, like, you know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. Well, you are the highest elevated member of the Bloods in this podcasting world. So far, no one's been able to surpass you. We've had quite a few people from the B team jump in front of the mic and do their thing, but no one has been able to get on your level. And I just want to see you keep, keep striving and keep doing your thing. Just lay low a little bit.
No, I ain't gonna even mess around. I gotta, cause even though like when you go do fun things, you want to drink. I enjoy podcasting, so I'll be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Drinking along with it, but at the same time, you gotta realize it is work though. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And then even without the call, like I said, I'm receptive to what Ragtime said for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially coming from him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I got so many calls, but when I saw his call come in, I quickly answered.
Yeah, that was the one to take.
Yeah,
the rest of them's being nosy. You know
exactly,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like, that's the one to take for sure.
Man. All right, man. So you starting another platform. You're gonna focus on your content. Let the people know what you got going on with this other platform.
Everybody go subscribe. I put my first piece of content on there this morning. It's Victoria's Secret by Munchie B. Everybody go subscribe to that. I'm gonna be dialoguing with the females, you know what I'm saying? Whether they be Instagram models, 304. Like, you want to know why you do what you do. I'm gonna talk to Angie Smalls, Latin affiliated, because I made a statement talking about the Brown brothers having small pitos. She want to clear the air. Who better than Angie Smalls to hey, you know what I'm saying? So Angie Smalls gonna be one of the guests. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have Tam from No Jumper, because me and her, we go back and forth. I understand you want somebody that's equally oaked as you. You don't want to have to drag around nobody or no dude that's effing for shelter. But I just think her checklist, she got 1 million checks. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Me and Tam, we gonna talk that talk. Like, it's gonna be stuff like that on Victoria's Secret by Munchie B, and everybody go subscribe. You know what I'm saying?
So definitely focusing on female conversations.
Only female conversations, and then
What about Jalik?
Me and her could talk, and that's another thing. I would try to avoid fiascos on camera, bro. So when Josh, partnered with Adam, he was like, "Hey, tomorrow you and Jalise." I said, "Absolutely not." You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not looking for to be arguing with nobody on camera. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this
so like if I hit Bosco, because that's Bosco dog. Bosco got love for Jalise. If I hit her and then she put up to Victoria's Secret, me and her can have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about a range of things.
That would be a good one. Since you guys had a little bit of back and forth.
Yeah, but I would like to talk to her without the No Jumper element. You know what I'm saying? Because evidently, obviously y'all trying to put us in the same environment, and I decline. I'm like, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm straight. Then cause look how it went. Cause Almighty Suspect and Brandon should have never been in the same space after they back and forth, and then exploded.
Yeah.
So or when they wanted to invite the full community up there, I said I'll sit it out. I didn't have to be there to have that black and brown conversation, and Young ain't right there. So they just canceled the full community, and then now you got them doing, "Hey, Munchie, you been crazy. Why you cancel her?" Not because we not like minded, and I'm not about to just be on camera. You know what I'm saying? Yelling back and forth with y'all. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. So we got a lot to look forward to watching with this interviews with the females, with the ladies.
Victoria's Secret by Munchie B. Everybody go subscribe.
All right, and don't forget about the Morals Over Money channel that you got going as well.
Morals Over Money. Everybody like, hype, and subscribe.
And of course, do not forget about Street TV, available on all podcast platforms. But special shout out to all the Apple and Spotify listeners, because you guys are the majority of those that tap in with Straight Politicking. We're also on the YouTube channel, Street TV, for all those that are interested in video clips for this episode. And we out.